Hey guys, Sean C. Phillips here. Welcome to the brand new Q&A series. I answer all the questions I've got from you guys, and so I've been, waiting about a week or so to make sure I have as many as possible before I start. And there's about 57 pages in the Word program, so it's probably going to be like 6, 7 parts like before. The first question is, what is such a typical question? What is your favorite movie? And the one I always say is Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And I know some people may make a face, but that's just one I've always liked. Can you try and call MJ again? And his real name, MJ. MJ stands for Michael Jackson. Is he Mickey? In the last video, MJ does say his real name. His name is Matthew James Kelly. That's his real name. So that is his name, but he, didn't use that name. So like when people knew him from the internet, see, that's why he went MJ. So if people knew him from the internet, they'd say MJ. People that he knew, from school or from college or from any other way would just say Matt, because they wouldn't be, you know what I mean? I can try and call him, but where he is, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't think he's going to pick up. I did talk to him lately, though, but I'm telling you he's not going to pick up. See if he can. If he picks up now, it'll be a little peculiar. I don't want to show the number, though. Everyone always asks this every time. He never picks up. He's not picking up.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. MJ Kelly.
See? He even says MJ Kelly on there, though. What would you sell your DVDs and Blu-rays for? Maybe some VHS if you have some. $50,000? If not, $100,000? I really wouldn't be interested in selling them. Because then the thing is, if I got the money, then I have to rebuy them all, and that would be a nightmare. And I get rid of some of the ones that I don't like. I have a couple. I don't keep like I used to. If there's something that I really don't like, I get rid of them. I used to be like, I gotta keep them, and now I've been getting rid of stuff. If I don't like them, and if I get a Blu-ray version, I get rid of the DVD version just to keep more space and stuff. What is the worst movie you've ever seen? What movie do you refuse to watch? I don't know about worst I've ever seen, because I've seen a lot of bad ones. But sometimes I just don't like to watch the movies that everyone talks and talks and talks about so much, like things like Avatar. Some of them. And the thing is, I'm sure they're fine movies, but sometimes when you hear about something so much, there's something really cool about discovering a different movie or coming across something that not everybody else knows about. It's different. It's not like the same thing that everyone discusses and everyone's always talking about. So I kind of like finding different things, different horror movies. That's why I watch so many B movies. And the mainstream movies right now are not that great. A lot of what they're doing, mainstream coming to theaters, every so often you come across some really good ones. But there's a lot of crap. And of course, though, there is a lot of crap in the horror thing, too, though. Hi, my name is Sean. Hi, Sean. My name is James. I was wondering what you thought of going to film school, because I know that you and MJ went. How useful is studying film in a school setting? I don't know a whole lot about film and would like to direct in the future. Also, I would like to know some of the lesser known but good zombie or horror films. I love Dawn of the Dead and the rest of George Romero's stuff, but I'm looking for some other ideas. Lastly, what are you most looking forward to in 2011? We went to film school. I went to the Sheffield Institute, went to a film program. I also did film program for a year. I didn't personally get a whole lot out of it, but I think that's a lot because me and MJ were doing films like shorts and things like that since the 7th grade, and I feel like we already learned a lot of the aspects of things. And I would always watch, behind the scenes things and making of things. And just now, too, I've learned even more about lenses and things like that just from watching, on the sets and stuff. But I do think if you have never picked up a camera before and you've never done anything like that, it's a good thing to do just to brush up on things. But I also think it's really good to go out and do it, just get a camera, especially because flips are so cheap. Everything, the quality of the cameras you can make now, of what you can get for really cheap, is theater quality for a lot of stuff. And that's why there's so many people making movies nowadays, is because, you can get stuff so cheap. So I suggest to just go out and make something, start making shorts and get a camera and start making things just to, and then put it on YouTube and get people to see it and things like that. I guess lesser known zombie ones, that are good. I mean, like if you haven't seen Return of the Living Dead, a lot of the Zombie 2 they call it was really good. I think City of the Living Dead was really good. There's a lot of other ones. I think I might have done a video a long time ago. My DVD collection ones on zombies, and I think I talked about a whole bunch in that. I think. What am I most looking forward in 2011? Well, film-wise, I don't know a whole lot of what's coming out. I haven't looked on if it means film. I'm not sure exactly what's coming out. I know there's one that I know it's not going to be really great, but I like the looks of it. About the Liam Neeson has a new one that looks interesting. I've liked his stuff a lot lately, and there's one about a guy going back in time or on a train. And I don't think it's going to be great, but it looks interesting. And I guess 2011, otherwise, just continuing to do more film projects and things like that. Ever consider Around the Town with MJ, Brendan, and Joe Franz, entitled The Expendables Around the Town? Well, that would be very cool. What sucks is, when Wet Movie was around, Brendan Mitchell, MJ, I had a vlog we were shooting, but then the camera got broken. So we have like 5 minutes of stuff I've got to get off that memory card at some point. Wet Movie, though, has one on his channel of all three of us around. And so hopefully, if Joe Franz ever comes out here, we can schedule it so, we can do one with Brendan, too. And I don't know this truthfully at all when MJ will be out here. It looks more and more like it's going to be me going back there. And I think we're going to be doing a movie in, I think, March there. So at that point, I think it's New Jersey, but MJ's going to be there, so we'll shoot a vlog around that time. Which series do you prefer, Halloween or Friday the 13th? Probably because I've watched more of them, Friday the 13th. Halloween, I've actually only watched, that I can remember, parts 1 through 3, and then the later ones, like the one starting when Busta Rhymes was in it. No, before that, the H2O one. And I've watched all, Halloween 1 and 2, the Rob Zombie versions. I know they're doing part 3 for some reason. I don't really know why. I'll watch it though, but I would say that I do like the Halloween films, but I need to watch 4 and 5. I have them, I just have never gotten to watch them. If it was a fire in your home, you can only save one movie, which would it be? Well, I don't think I would risk my life to get any movies. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not that concerned. You know what I mean? I would be upset, but I don't think my life would crumble from it. I think from being without the DVDs and without all that stuff from April until probably about September, when I was able to get into the boxes, a lot of my hoarding kind of stuff with the DVDs went away. I'm not as crazy about getting DVDs like I was. I like getting them, and then sometimes I have spurts when I'm like, oh, I gotta get that, but I don't have that like I used to, like as much of a drive to buy as much stuff. That's why I don't do as many DVD updates. I was trying to just also, especially since everything's Blu-ray and stuff, I'm trying to, get, every so often there's a lot of stuff coming out. I think, too, there hasn't been a lot of amazing titles in the last couple months that I've really wanted. Coming up, though, it's picking up. I noticed you're single. Are you still single? Yes. Always looking, though. Do you like the Terminator Trilogy? I really like the second one the best. I remember Joe Franz said he didn't like it. Me and MJ were always surprised by that. Part 3, I didn't love that one. Part 4 was okay, though. What type of dog is Lulu? Her relation with the family? Lulu is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. And we've had no problems with her. She always, when we do the family videos, she starts barking because she needs lots and lots of attention. And someone's like, can you put her outside? The thing is, we live like in this canyon thing, and it's gated and everything. I mean, there's like fencing, but there's a lot of coyotes outside. And if you listen at night, to certain times you can hear them. So this is serious. If you put her out there, she'd probably be eaten, because there's a lot of problems with that in this neighborhood. And we can't put her in any rooms because they scratch up everything, scratch up the gate, going crazy. So you pretty much have to give her a pig's ear or whatever it is they give her to quiet her down. Have you ever seen a movie called Seven? It's about 7 deadly sins. I think my family was talking about it last night. I was just wondering if you'd seen it and what it was about. I feel like that might be a kung fu movie, but I don't know. I don't I don't think I've ever seen that. I've never seen that, though. What happened to your short horror films on your channel? I still have those up. There's Lust for Blood and Vampire's Lust. I'll put a link, you know, I'm going to write down 10 minutes in. Damn it, I have to write down 10 minutes in so I know where to put the click thing. But, you know, like click, or I'll put it also under this video, so if you want to look at them. But we did, me and MJ did 2 of them. Hopefully at some point we'll make another thing, another short, like, want to make it be like 45 minutes and attach it to this other movie that a friend of mine made, and I think we want to shoot on the red camera and stuff. We'll see. I'm not the best script writer, so that's kind of, I don't really want to write. That's the thing. I just like to, pretty much like to act, and that's why I don't really put a lot of time into it. That's the problem. Hey, Sean, have you ever seen a movie called Brewster McCloud? I live in Australia, and it's not available anywhere, and I would love to know if you've seen it or not. I've never heard of that one. I've seen Brewster's Millions, but never that one. Hey, Sean, I love your videos. I noticed Herb has tattoos. Could you tell me what he has on his arms? I'll have to do a video with him explaining it, but it's like a clipper ship, then this rope thing, and then I'm going to explain them wrong, but I'll have him show them in one of the next videos so you can see. On your next video, can you put links in your box so I can see the movies you've acted in? Well, if you want to see that, I guess just go on IMDb and then search Sean C. Phillips. That's the best way to see them, because they're not like YouTube things. You can't see them. They're all, you know, you have to buy them or something like that, and they're not the only ones that are out right now that you can actually get, or Banshee, Sasquatch Assault, which is called Assault of the Sasquatch. I keep calling it the other name. I can't seem to stop because I was so used to that title. Then the other one, President's Day's not out yet. I think those are the main ones. Oh, the Severed Id, though, you can get on legionfilms.com. But everything else is up and coming. Hey, Sean, I figure you dig the 80s music, but I've seen in your older videos you had a Marilyn Manson figure. Are you still a Mansonite? And what is your favorite Manson song? I was never really a huge Marilyn Manson fan, and I've seen him live just, you know, because I like to see interesting people live, and my brother really wanted to see him probably about 4 years ago. But the truth of the Marilyn Manson thing was, I remember in the 6th grade, I was like desperate. I used to be a kind of current person, and I talked about this once before. I used to try and fit in and be hip and with it. And I remember in the 6th grade, I saw a couple people that were kind of like gothish and wearing Marilyn Manson shirts and all that stuff. So I had like that necklace of his, and I wore, like, you know, Marilyn Manson shirts and all this shit, and tried to be kind of, you know, with it. And I didn't even really like his music very much. It was just kind of me trying to, I don't know what I was doing. I've yet to do that kind of thing ever again. Dude, the video, hello, do you do a review of Inception? Greetings from Jacob. Well, my dad and Ethan, you know, Dweebo saw it and said it wasn't very good, and it was boring and stuff, so I'm really not interested in watching it. I'm sure it's okay. For some reason, I'm just not that interested in it. Now, the next question is, and this one we get a lot, is MJ coming back? And, well, a lot of this, there keeps continuously still being stuff like we had some kind of a huge fight, and MJ was intending to live out here, and things like that. I mean, years back, we always talked about one day coming out here, and, you know, him moving out here too, and the thing is, things change and stuff. We're still good friends. You know, I don't get to talk to him very often now. He's got a new job now, so he's been very busy, and he's got a serious girlfriend. They're engaged, so, you know, and don't go on with him about that, because I don't think he likes talking about it. But, you know, he is engaged now, and but, you know, and also it takes a lot of money for him to come out here, and MJ's not big on saving money. I'm not either, but he doesn't like saving money. You know, I don't want to get into all that, but, you know, I can pretty much guarantee there's no way he's going to be back here. It's more that I'm going to have to go back there, and I would pretty much have to pay for him to come back here if I wanted to. And if you saw the Around the Country movie, I'm not that interested in that. Well, you know, I'm going to be there soon, though, and see him, like I said. But, you know, we didn't have some big falling out. It's just things change. That's the problem. Hey, Sean, have you seen the Yogi Bear movie? What you say about it? I did see the Yogi Bear movie. I know people are going to be like, why don't you go see that? For some reason, I wanted to see it. I remember liking Yogi Bear a lot as a kid. You know, I don't know. I haven't seen it in years, though, the actual show. But I thought it was okay. I thought it was better, in my opinion, than the Chipmunks movies, which I didn't care for them very much. I felt like the Chipmunks movies kind of screwed up my view on the Chipmunks. I don't feel like this Yogi Bear screwed anything up. I have no problem with Dan Aykroyd. I think Dan Aykroyd did good. Justin Timberlake, he was just doing that weird thing voice, so you couldn't really even tell it was him. It wasn't like he was like, hi, I'm Justin Timberlake. You know how sometimes when they do those voices, they use the same voice and try and be like, oh, it's Justin Timberlake. The thing is, with this boo-boo voice, anybody can be like, oh, Yogi. It wasn't like a real you know what I mean? It wasn't like him doing it and being like, I'm Justin Timberlake and bragging about it, which they do that sometimes. What do you have to say are your top 5 holiday movies? That one's a tough one, but this person said mine are Home Alone, Gremlins, Die Hard, Home Alone 2, Miracle on 31st Street. Well, I would say Home Alone 1 and 2 as well. And I would say Christmas Story I like, but sometimes I get tired of watching that. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I've seen that so many times, I don't feel like I want to watch that as much. I'm trying to think of other ones that have a holiday thing. The Santa Claus, I really like the first one. I didn't care too much for the sequels. To think about the other ones. Definitely not that Santa Claus versus the Martians. That one's always kind of makes me sick. Especially that opening theme. How much do you weigh in kilograms? I have no idea. Probably lots of kilograms, though. What do you think of Bill Murray, and how would you rank the following? I really like Bill Murray. Lost in Translation, Broken Flowers, Scrooged, Groundhog Day, Stripes, and Ghostbusters. Probably Ghostbusters, then Groundhog Day, then Scrooged, Lost in Translation, Broken Flowers, and Stripes. I don't think I like Stripes too much. The one that's like my favorite one that I don't know, I've always liked was What About Bob? So that one I would definitely put on the list. What do you think? What do you think are the top 5 best horror remakes? I don't know if I know 5. I know I really liked The Hills Have Eyes Part 1 remake. The second one, for some reason, I really didn't care for that. I thought it was done sort of stupid. I'd be trying to be real silly, and the creatures in it were reminding me of Goosebumps. And I like Goosebumps, but, it fits in a kid's thing. It doesn't really fit in that kind of movie. It was done so goofy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 1 remake was pretty cool. Thought that was good. I did not like Prom Night. I'm trying to think of other remakes. Piranha 3D was okay. I did not love that. I'm trying to think of all the remakes that I can think of. Sometimes I feel like the remakes, I just kind of watch them and then I'm done with them. You know what I mean? Because then I just watch the originals again. It's like very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen a remake, and most people I've seen to say the same thing, that I thought was better than the original. Like, some people say, and I agree with this, remake the movies that are bad. That makes sense. Like, if it's a bad movie, it wasn't perfect the first time, then try it again. Hey, Sean, just wondering, but they wouldn't do that because they know the originals already have a following and they can make money. What internet memos and fads are you sick of seeing? Like Chocolate Rain, Fred, Anton Dotson. For me, I hate them all. I wish YouTubers like you and your videos were more plentiful because you're cool. Thanks and Merry Christmas. Well, thanks. I know what you're talking about people like Fred and people like that. I do give Fred a lot of credit. That guy from, figuring out how to make this niche, and I don't exactly know what it's kind of funny how a lot of the people who are on YouTube are the really, really, really popular ones. And I've thought about how that happened. And I don't know if I'm right, but this is what I think. Like Smosh and stuff is in there. These people started in the very, very beginning, when YouTube was new. And these people started, like I said, in the beginning, and built a following when there was hardly anything on YouTube. And when people were, uploading videos of their cats, and, macaroni and cheese preparation. Nothing major. And these guys started in the very beginning, knew what they were doing, and I don't even think there was partner programs or anything like that at this point. I don't think. There might have been something, I don't know. But I think since they started in the very beginning, YouTube was really promoting that stuff because it was original content to YouTube that was, comedy and things like that. And I think that's how they built such a following. Because you don't see those people now growing to a huge, you don't see Fred becoming huger and huger. You kind of see Fred staying the same, kind of. You know what I mean? He's not going to become 3 million subscribers or 4 million. He's not going to gain millions more from this point. I think it was all because of the beginning. But I do wish that some of the smaller YouTubers could grow more. I do agree with you on that. In your DVD updates, you showed horror DVDs with kids' drawings on the covers. What were those movies called? I tried to find a specific DVD update, but then there are just too many. Yeah, I remember reading that a few days ago. I can't figure out which one you mean for that. I work for the same movie company. I work for the same movie theater company that you used to, and it sucks. Can you share some gripes you've had with the job? Well, since I'm not working there, I can talk about it. I guess as much as I can say about it. I'm not going to say the name of the one I was at, but I guess some of the major problems that I always had at that job and why I'm so glad that I'm not there anymore is because I always have anxiety, and it wasn't very bad until I started working there, because when you're left alone in a box office by yourself with lines out the door, that's kind of what did it. I don't really have a whole lot of bad stuff to say anymore since I've been away from it for a while, so I've kind of blocked it out. But there's a lot of stuff with managers like leaving you by yourself. The worst one, and this is a little stupid, but the worst one was being trapped in the box, having to take a massive Duke. And if any of you have ever eaten Subway, you know that sometimes after Subway can give you the Dukes. And to be trapped in the box office and not being able to go can be quite a problem. That's all I'm going to say. Now, I'm just wondering what David Lynch films you own and what you think of him as a director. I know I have the Twin Peaks show and his movie. I know I have Eraserhead. I don't know, and he makes really weird movies, but I've liked all of his stuff. So I think those are the only ones I've got, though. Have you ever seen the TV show Psych? And if so, what's your thoughts on it? If not, I recommend it. I've never seen that one. Have you ever wanted to eat Skittles and watch Brokeback Mountain while dressed up as a samurai? I don't think so. Maybe one day it could be on a bucket list. What are your thoughts on the film Revenge of the Nerds? On the film. I always liked those movies. I really, really liked the first one. The second one, for some reason, sometimes when I watch it, I shut it off. I don't like that one as much. The first one was such a perfect movie. I always think about how they were remaking it and then it got shut down. I would love to see some footage from that just to see what it would have been like. But I did like that a lot. What's your favorite Martin Scorsese film? Mine is Taxi Driver. What's your favorite Stanley Kubrick film? Stanley Kubrick, though, I really think The Shining. The music in that was so good. Just the shots. The opening to when they're panning across the mountains was so cool. I always think when I'm going to this casino called Harrah's Casino, I don't like gambling, but I like the buffet. I guess that's because I'm fat. But I like every time I drive in there, though, it looks just like it. You would swear they filmed it there. I know they didn't, but it has that same look. So one day I'm going to have to play the Shining score and then drive through it and see if I experience it the same way Jack Nicholson might have. For Taxi Driver, though, from Martin Scorsese, I would say that was one of my favorite ones. I can't think of some of his other ones at the moment. What's your favorite Saturday morning cartoon of the late 80s and early 90s? I can't remember a whole lot of what I was watching then on TV. I used to rent a lot more tapes of things that were on then. I know I watched Popples, and I know I watched Care Bears, stupid speech impediment. Sometimes that R problem comes back. And here's the thing about that R problem. When I go, Burritos, now I did that on purpose there. But I used to have that problem as a kid. And from working at the job, I guess from the stress of it, it came back. And I remember, I'm not kidding here, I don't know how it happened, but it came back. It was gone for years. I had no problems with that. And then it came back, which sucks, especially film-wise, because sometimes it comes back on film. And I'm like, shit. But it happened because of the stress of the place. So I started doing it. I remember one day, I think I was having a panic attack, and I couldn't stop screwing up the R. I don't know. That was one of those days, like during the holidays there, when there was people yelling at you. And people get mad when movies are sold out. They start yelling at you like you've done something, when all I'm doing is standing there holding a sheet from Subway. But, yeah. But, yeah, I don't even remember what I'm talking about now. Have you ever been mugged or your house broken into? Well, not as of yet, and I'm hoping it always stays that way. I know as a kid, I was almost kidnapped. And it's not funny. I remember when I was getting off the bus, and this memory came back to me years later, and I remember coming off the bus, and this one guy's like, hey kid, can you help me figure out where this thing is or something? And he wanted me to get into the car, and it always creeped me out. And I don't know, I think I watched like one of those after-school specials or something with the girl getting kidnapped or something, one of them from the 70s, and I think that's when I remembered it. And no, it did happen, because then I really remembered. I remember the neighbor came out and said, what's going on? So, thank God he came out. I might not be here with this insightful answers. What was the first R-rated film you ever watched? What was the best thing you ever got in your P.O. box sent by a fan? What 80s teen comedy was your favorite? I think for P.O. box thing, I always like if somebody makes something. Like, somebody made a bust of my face, like this little bust thing and then a bigger one. Things like that I really like. Things like, you know, made sculptures and things like that. I think the first R-rated movie, I know in theaters, was the Alien Resurrection. It was the first one I saw in theaters. I don't know what the first on DVD... I actually think the first one I saw, and I don't think my parents knew what it was rated, and I watched it when I was like 6 years old, if not younger, was National Lampoon's Vacation. That's one I saw really, really young. And I think that was one of the first ones. Favorite 80s teen comedies? I think like a lot of the... I'm trying to think of John Hughes ones I really liked, like Weird Science and things like that. And there's one really weird one that people don't talk about much, Last American Virgin. I think that's the title, and that was really good. And I really liked the end of that one. It ended very different compared to a lot of other 80s films of that time. Like ones like Just One of the Girls, no, Just One of the Guys, Just One of the Girls was the Corey Haim one that he did. On another note, I finally found somebody was selling it cheap. One of the Corey Haim movies I don't have, Fever Lake. And it wasn't great, but I'm trying to get everything he's done, just because I just want to have all of his movies. Have you seen the movie Orphan? If so, what did you think of it? Did you like it? What has been the scariest, most underrated movie in the last 5 years? Thanks. I don't know what's scary, like what one of the most scary ones was lately. I can't remember what the last thing I saw that was really, really scary. I always say Session 9. I don't feel like I've watched anything lately that's been that scary. I thought that Last Exorcism was a little creepy, but I haven't been freaked out by much lately. Orphan was a creepy ending, though, because I don't think I saw coming. Do you ever watch foreign films, and have you ever seen Oldboy, No Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance? 2 really good Korean films. If you haven't, what are some other good foreign films? I think, though, I watched a lot of the French ones, like Inside, Martyrs, which I think is French. That's really freaky, though. Kind of made me a little sick. The really good one, though, City of Lost Children. That's a really good one if you haven't seen it. The director made this other one called Dante 08. Very slow. I didn't care for that one. But I don't watch a ton of foreign films. I used to watch a lot of the Japanese horror films. And then something about those ones always creeped me out. And kind of like, I don't know, I guess those are the ones that creep me out. Do you have all your VHS and video games left over from the move? That's the sad part. The amount of stuff that I got rid of when I moved, I didn't really get into it. But, whew, I mean, I'm not going to lie here. I think I filled up a half a dumpster with stuff. Not DVDs, because most of the DVDs that I got rid of, which was about 600, I sold to a place called Soundgarden in Maryland, which gave really good trade-in for them. I got like $700 or $800 from like the $300 I gave to them, and then I gave some to Amoeba when I got out here and made like 200. Well, not a lot. They do pretty well. I got rid of a lot of the tapes. A lot of the tapes are gone. There's some of them, probably about a box full of about 150 that I had to keep. There were just stuff that I just didn't want to get rid of, things that weren't on DVD yet. But there's a lot gone. A lot of stuff like that, which is kind of a shame. What is your favorite Western movies made before 1980? It's the one thing, I haven't watched a lot of Westerns. So I don't know on that. Will you, maybe with MJ, vlog the Yosemite National Park? I'd love to see that. When we were on the drive, we went by that, I think, because there was this picture of Yogi Bear. So I can't imagine it unless it was some other Yogi Bear park. And if I'm even calling it the right, I don't know if that's even the Yogi Bear Park or not. I think that was Jellystone. I don't know what happened to the Yosemite one. But at some point, I can't do a lot of that vlogging in the parks out here. I got to be careful. I'll get bit by a rattlesnake. Because right behind the house is a canyon thing. And you can walk through the one thing. I'll go through it again. I went through it with MJ once. But at some point I'd like to do that, though. Do you still have any toys left from your childhood? Here's the one thing that pisses me off. I'm just going to tell you here because it's been annoying me for a while. Before we left, it's still not resolved. And I don't know what we're going to do. There's a woman that sell your stuff on eBay. We got rid of a whole bunch of toys. I got rid of a whole case of Ninja Turtles toys and these Freddy dolls and all this stuff that we got rid of to sell on that site. She would sell it for us on eBay. She keeps 20%, kind of like an auction thing or something. And she didn't put any of it up. And she's like taking down her website. So we've got to go through the task of getting it back. And I'm not letting it go because I've got so much stuff that I just want to keep. So that's kind of the pain. So a lot of my toys and a lot of ones that I cannot believe are gone, she's got. Like, I think some of the ones I threw away too were like Land of the Lost toys and stuff. I'm going to have to rebuy because I didn't want to get rid of them. But when we were trying to move, it was a hectic mess. Because like everyone in the house was like, you got to get rid of this, you got to get rid of this. So it was a nightmare trying to get rid of everything in the house. Are you ever going to go, what music do you listen to, any specific bands or albums? Well, I was happy to find out that Tangerine Dream, who's one of my favorite groups that does synth music, is still making music. And it still sounds 80s and 70s. I didn't know this. For some reason, I thought they stopped in the 80s. They're still doing it. But that's one of the ones I really like. I really like Ween. And I don't like the silly Ween songs, like with the weird voices. I like some of their newer stuff. Are you ever going to come to Ireland? At some point, I really, really want to go to Europe and I want to go to Ireland and all those places. So at some point, I'm sure I will. Hey, Sean, what do you think of the RoboCop movies? It's my favorite movie. What is your favorite kind of candy? I like RoboCop 1 a lot. And I always like the third one. And I know it's not good, but I think that's because that was the first one I ever saw. So I always kind of like that one. For candy, I don't need a ton of candy. I like the See's candy. This peanut kind of thing they have. But I don't like a lot of candies. I was at this bulk store, and I think they were old or something, but they still sell those nutrageous things. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's that. It came out, not a 90s thing, I know, but it's that peanut butter thing they had that, I don't remember, some movie had a tie-in with it. But that was one of the other ones I like. I have a few questions. Have you ever seen Congo, Duel, or Maximum Overdrive, and what did you think of them? Duel is Steven Spielberg's first feature-length film. It's very creepy. Do you have any interesting, funny, behind-the-scenes stories from the Sorrow of the Sasquatch? Keep up the great work. I've seen Congo. I really like that a lot. Duel, I like that as well. Maximum Overdrive was a cool one with them. I remember they were in the gas station, and the one from The Simpsons was in that. I remember, too, they made a remake of that, and they called it Trucks. I think that's the one I saw first, and I didn't pick up and realize, I was thinking, I've already seen this movie when I watched Maximum Overdrive, because it's pretty much the same. Trucks, everyone forgot about that one. I remember it had that cover that was so cheap. It was like a skeleton guy in the car, like this weird-looking look to it, the skeleton's face, real badly added in. But it was okay, I remember it. I guess for funny stories for the Sasquatch movie, mainly more like a problem we had, like that scene with the bike. If anyone's got to watch the movie, it's on Netflix. streaming now. It's Assault of the Sasquatch, the one that me and MJ were in. One of the ones we're in. They had this scene with this like bike with 2 seats, a tandem bike, and it was originally supposed to be us riding it, and I could ride it by myself. MJ could ride it by himself, but when it was both of us trying to ride it together, it became impossible. We kept falling down. We just couldn't do it. That's why in the movie he's riding it and I'm running beside him. That's not how it was supposed to be. It was originally supposed to be us both on the bike running into him, but we couldn't do it. We could not balance. We tried and tried and tried. They have some clips of it on the DVD. It just did not work out. Would you ever consider making a video of your favorite childhood comedies from the past decade? At some point I'll do that. I guess one other thing I could say too was, remember I ate Indian food for the first time on that, and then had like something in it made me sick, because I think it had cinnamon in it, and I can't eat cinnamon, so I was like taking Dukes the whole day the next day. Yeah, this will be the last one for this part. What do you like better, tacos or burritos? Probably burritos if there's certain ways. For some places use dark meat chicken. I really don't like that. And sometimes, I'm sure people know what I'm talking about, the chicken stuff can be real stringy and, like, I don't know, I like it when it's really good quality. I usually get the shrimp ones because that's hard to screw up. I guess that's probably the last one for now. Thanks again for everyone for watching and for subscribing. I still have, how many pages left? 51, so I only got through 5 pages, I think. But anyway, though, I'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot for watching and subscribing, and I'll see you later.